Guys, we have to talk about the Mt. Gox release schedule, Kraken, and when they could possibly sell. Now, we said there was a 2-week holding period, which means they could sell towards the end of this week. But that's not the entire story for Mt. Gox. Oh, no, no, no. They moved $9 billion, their entire stash today, 2/3 of it to two unknown wallets, one to a Mt. Gox cold wallet, which they might hold for a while. But Kraken has actually received and have confirmed they've received $3 billion from Mt. Gox. And they said they would distribute it within 7 to 14 days. What does that mean? That means most of the distributions will actually be next week for at least that $3 billion batch. Not really sure about the others, but that $3 billion batch is like 48,000 Bitcoins. That's a lot of money, folks, and can have a big effect. Now, analysts have been all over the place on this, with some saying they're going to sell 99% of it, which would be mega disastrous, yes, and others saying it's not actually that bad. Most of these people are not going to sell a huge amount of it. The truth is maybe somewhere in between. Yes, the coins have gained 8,500%, which is a lot since they've actually been issued. Since Mt. Gox went down, but they're not getting the full amount back. In fact, they're getting only about 15% back, which means in reality, they're getting maybe 1,000% returns, and that's after 10 years. But 10 years is a very long time to wait. 1,000% returns also is pretty damn good. So, some of them might sell, others might actually hold on. Some people are saying like only paper hands people will sell. Well, guess what, people? There's a lot of paper hands out there. And some of them are definitely going to sell. I expect some selling pressure between next Tuesday and the Tuesday afterwards. I also expect a little bit of selling pressure from the end of this week. Now, the fear from that has not actually kicked in yet and may not actually kick in. And there's going to be some offsetting, definitely some offsetting from major institutional buys. So it's not all bad, but there could definitely be a dump between like maybe this Thursday and 2 weeks from now. So you should definitely be holding on to your hats then. Now, if it dumps back down to 55K, 54K, I would definitely immediately buy back because I don't have confidence it's going to dump much more than that. But I would have some dry powder, especially for the alts, if Bitcoin starts to dump at that point. So it dumped down to that much. Because if Bitcoin dumps maybe 10%, I believe altcoins will actually dump 15, 20%, maybe even more. But when Bitcoin starts coming back up, which I expect about within a week after the dumping is done, they'll start to come back up. I believe altcoins will really rally as well, especially the bigger meme coins. And then everything else will obviously follow. So there's going to be a series of pumping and dumping over the next couple of weeks, most likely, unless people just don't pay attention at all to the Mt. Gox thing. But still, because there's such a big amount of Bitcoin coming out of Mt. Gox, I think it's nearly impossible to just completely ignore it. And I think it'd be very, very foolish to ignore Mt. Gox's potential catastrophic implications for the short-term market. For the long-term market, I don't really think it's going to matter. At most by the end of August, all this should actually be resolved and we should be going up. But until then, we do actually have to watch out for what's going on, around the corner. And if you're doing like short-term trade or leverage, it's something that you have to pay attention to. Obviously, the whale watchers, they'll get you to the wallet. But Kraken said within 7 to 14 days, between a week and 2 weeks, is when they're going to distribute that 40,000 Bitcoin stash. And obviously, not everyone's going to get it at the same time. They've allowed them 7 days to distribute, so some people will get it before the others. But it could be a couple of days of continuous, somewhat large sales that could impact, prices 1,000 points at a time or something like that. And it could be like 4 or 5 waves of like minus $1,000 within that week. So that's something that you have to look out for, especially if you're playing leverage, because you could be liquidated and absolutely annihilated if you don't be careful of that. So, I just wanted to let people know of what's going on with the Mt. Gox stuff, where the big transactions are actually happening, when they could actually sell off. And that's like the latest information I've got. And yes, BlackRock, Fidelity, they did buy like 300 million last week, and I think they're going to keep buying this week. Some people are saying like, yeah, it's BlackRock's plan, and they're actually controlling the Mt. Gox distribution. I really don't think so. I think BlackRock are obviously just opportunists. They see a opportunity to rake in a lot of money here, and they're obviously taking full advantage of that opportunity. I mean, hell, I would too if I was BlackRock. I know there's a big batch of sells coming. I'd definitely have some money ready to buy the asset once the big sales come. So really not that big of a surprise that BlackRock, Fidelity, and others are actually buying. And I think like, people are going to see that. And if we get really low prices, like people themselves are actually going to buy as well. So yeah, get ready. Within a week or two, 40,000 Bitcoins coming out, probably more because that other hot wallet that Mt. Gox has that also has 40,000 Bitcoins is probably going to be distributed to another exchange. Kraken is not the only exchange that's helping with the distributions. There's probably others, and they'll probably distribute within a short amount of time as well. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.